So what I was describing is, we are analyzing little independently why Bhagavan is talking like this. Because of a one natural problem of every human being. And that is whenever he gets any data from the world, when he tries to know anything pertaining to any knowledge, he has to he has to objectify in the mind. Otherwise it cannot. So a relevant thought has to arise, and then that thought has an object, definitely, and therefore I am the subject. In me the thought arises and the thought has an object. So there will be always a subject-object distance, always. And if you cannot if you cannot objectify that, you will not know. You will not know. Therefore, it is very, very natural that we always objectify. That's called objectification orientation. All the time we objectify. And that is why even the Atma is basically beyond sense organs, beyond mind. They say beyond mind. When we say it is definitely, it is not an object of the particular thought, or beyond any concept. Well, when it is said like that, definitely it becomes very difficult to know. Very difficult to know. And this has to be told like this. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha, etc. has been told even in the Taittiriya Upanishad. Yataha vachaha manaha nivartate. So this mind and the words, both definitely written without knowing the Atma. And still we are giving the knowledge through the words. Well, that is the wonder. But anyway, what I am saying is that this, since Atma is beyond any kind of a concepts, beyond the mind, beyond the sense perception, etc., well, then this teaching is a wonder. Still you are, from generations, from the time immemorial, starting from the Lord Dakshinamurti, whole teaching continues. There is a lineage. Every I'm going to talk today about every teacher was a disciple. And therefore, any teacher, whatever teacher you have, that proves that he was a student, means his teacher was there. His teacher again was a disciple. He had the teacher. Unbroken lineage. Then how come, because such a difficult subject matter, Atma which cannot be objectified, then it cannot be known. It cannot be known even through concepts. It cannot be known through senses. Then such a Atma, how can a whole tradition knows it? Starting from Ishvara. Ishvara, he was the first teacher, and he gave knowledge, and then he gave knowledge. Then where the disciple became teacher and gave knowledge to someone else, and then unbroken lineage. So that's a wonder. That's a wonder. And anyway, so even it is it is just an open secret. And one more thing I would like to tell here, this I just remembered it, and that Vedanta will never be popular. It will never be popular. Always the crowd will be less. There is a reason for that. And the reason is because Vedanta talks about, Vedanta gives a solution to the mistake which is universal. And when the mistake is universal, definitely no one feels that there is a mistake. In fact, if you tell something like this, they say you are you need some treatment. When suppose if I go in the world and tell in New York and I stand with some poster that I am Brahman, may you know all this, then you will be free from any fear. Then they say let us put this person into some hospital. When the mistake is universal and everyone is sailing in the same boat, they never feel that there is a mistake. If you talk like that, it is a mistake. And therefore, Vedanta will never be popular. It was never popular. It is not popular right now also, and it will never be popular. Very few people will. That's how it is wonder. Few people only, even though it is providing solution for the human problem, but this will be the situation. So, of course, teaching has to be made available because it's a universal mistake. So, whoever wants to correct the mistake can do, definitely. But people will not believe this easily, because they will immediately tell this argument. If suppose there is a mistake, how can the mistake will be universal? We say everything, whatever we know right now is a universal mistake. Everyone says sky is blue. It's a universal mistake. There is a sunrise, it's a universal mistake. right? There is a sunrise, it's a universal mistake. Ocean is blue is a universal mistake. So it doesn't mean that something which is universally there, therefore it cannot be a mistake. Mistake means which few people can, individually some person can do this kind of mistake. Universally everything, whoever is born will born with this kind of a mistake. What are you talking? Like, so this is a thing. And not only that, our generations have gone, all generations, so many generations. Dad is a majority. Puja Swamiji used to tell, Dad is a majority in fact, joining the majority. Anyway, so many generations have gone, and all were like that. They were self-confused and self-ignorant and all that. What do you think? And you say in future also people will be born with this mistake. What are you talking? This we don't believe. And that's how it looks very difficult that there is a mistake and that is to be corrected. Well, and this Vedanta provides the solution for that, will never be so. And that's how this knowledge, the speaker of the knowledge, the Shrota, the hearer of the knowledge, well, the person who really knows all this self, he corrects the mistake, etc. Everything is wonder. Everything is wonder. And we also said why this knowledge, it's very so subtle and secret. Well, then the main thing is, as the teacher describes about Atma, day in and day out he takes a particular verse and describe. Next day some another verse regarding Atma, describe. Third day, describe. Whenever it describes, the students try to form some concept in the mind. Students try to form some concept. And therefore, we'll try to imagine. And as I gave you, I'm not sure whether you have heard or not, but let me repeat that. That when Atma is all pervading, Brahman means which is all pervading, etc., when it has been told, immediately in our mind, like space, that kind of a concept comes. That it is like space. And Atma is Nitya, eternal, etc. We'll try to form some kind of a concept. As we form the concept in the mind, it is gone. We have missed the step. And then further if you listen, then more and more concepts you form. And one of the concepts which you like regarding Atma, you sit with that in meditation and you try to dwell upon. And ultimately that is not Atma, and so you get frustrated. And therefore this is how it is happening. And therefore to know this Atma is really a wonder. So where is the snag in that? How can I can come out of this? So all the time we should remember that Atma is not an object. It is being talked about, but it is very subject, and about which Krishna is talking. So looking for Atma in our mind is basic mistake. The very looking for Atma. The looker is Atma. All the time we have to tell. In Swami V, I think, or somebody used to tell that when the course was going on in Chinmay Mission in Powai in Mumbai, in those days, well, at that time, one of the student in the class, everyone used to take one desk so that they could write some notes also when the teaching is going on. So one student has put a small plate with written something, and that was like this, that he has put that on the desk itself, that Swami is talking about me day in and day out. He has written like that. Swami is talking about me. Swami is talking about. That makes the person not to form new concepts. Daily you form new concept regarding Atma. And then you don't worry about it. You will be happy with your concept. You remain in that. That's fine. But when I talk about the Jnana Phalam, when I say that the phalam of this will be like this, you don't feel a lack within, etc., the fear will go, this will go, that will go, then you find that all the things are there. And then you feel that you have not known the Atma till today. That brings a big frustration in the people. So basically the forming some kind of a concept is a very, it's a missing, we missed at that point itself. And then mind will form concept, or it has to form concept. It has to objectify, definitely. It has to objectify, but that is pertaining to the worldly knowledge. Well, this is a knowledge pertaining to the subject. And therefore, any kind of an objectification and that kind of a orientation in the mind definitely will not help me. That kind of a resolution should be there in our mind. And and so then people imagine some kind of a mysterious Brahman also, mysterious truth, and look for some mysterious thing to happen also, to in meditation, etc. And nothing happens. And therefore, so someone says that I am hearing, Swamiji, some peculiar sounds in daily morning when I get up and sit in meditation. And somebody says, well, I am seeing something, some ring, Swamiji. Some kind of a ring are formed in, when I sit in the meditation. And I saw those flesh appearing. And then again they disappears. And all the time. So we expect something to happen, either in the form of an event or in the form of an object. And whatever you experience is definitely not Atma. Nothing is going to form. Even though you are in a spiritual path, I am telling you, nothing is going to form. Even some of the disciples, they weave some kind of a stories, around that teacher, that he has given that blessing and it worked. He gave the blessing that you will earn some money, you put this do some investment in this, and it worked. And so this is all story by, not by teacher. Please understand, these are the stories by the bhaktas. Well, definitely bhaktas, not even really the seekers. So they make some kind of a mysterious. They make their teacher also mysterious. So that shows that they have not really appreciated what the knowledge is. Knowledge is 1 + 1 = 2. There is no mystery here. And even the teacher doesn't have any mysterious powers or anything. That will be there in Yoga Shastra. Here there is nothing. No, nothing will happen. It maybe, no, but Swamiji, I will give you an example. Let the class be over. I am going to tell you. There was one great teacher who was having some powers and all. See, there are people who were earlier yogis and had come to Vedanta and gained jnanam, and definitely they have become Brahmanishta. But even they were able to perform some miracles. That's not due to this Brahma jnanam. It was due to that yoga. And I will tell you, there are some very great teachers who were earlier yogis. And their sadhana may be continuing for many janmas, we don't know. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha, etc. So, to drop all these notions, why Bhagavan is telling it is wonder, because any kind of a knowledge you want to gain, you will objectify in your mind. Then only you can get the jnana. And here it is subject. And therefore we fail. And so definitely subject is to be known as a subject. How will subject is known as a subject? First, all the objectification, you have to negate all objects. All objects means what? I am not telling that I am mobile. I am not telling I am a camera. And therefore, why you need not tell me all this kind of, definitely not. But other than that, you have a sense of I in this body, etc., which definitely it is an object of consciousness, and it has to be negated. And that is why this, the 3 bodies are negated, of course, or these panchakoshas are negated, or let's say the 3 states of experience, Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, has to be negated. And after negation, if teacher does not do anything, then definitely the Atma is a shunyam, because you have negated everything and now nothing is left over. Then Atma becomes shunyam. Then immediately the teacher is teacher. He immediately tells, after negating everything, that you are the one who negated everything is the real nature of Atma. That without consciousness, how can you become a negator even without a consciousness? A very negator, the nature of a negator basically is Satchidananda. That is how it has to be told, and that is how the definition also has been given in our Tattva-bodha. First the negation part is there, and later it has been told Satchidananda. That is due to this reason. First you have to negate what is already superimposed upon the self, and after negating, if you don't say anything, Atma becomes shunyam, because everything is negated by neti. And immediately, without even opening eyelid, immediately teacher tells, you are the one who negated everything is Atma. That's how it is. And so definitely it comes to the self. It comes to the subject, and the subject is Satchidananda. Of course, that also has been explained later. But the negator is definitely indicated immediately. And so, this is, I was just thinking of that, this is why this Bhagavan is telling like this. So, we have to understand in this manner. And yesterday I told you about, the knower is a wonder, of course, and the self-knowledge also is a wonder. And I said you the object of knowledge as such, which is called Brahman, also is a wonder. And I have given you Ishavasya's, quotation. And there are many. I am not going further. Of course, I have left one part of the shloka, the mantra, but I am not going to elaborately do that. But it said that tadejati tanna ejati taddure tadu antike tadantarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasyasya bahyatah. So we said yesterday that this Atma is one which is in motion, and then tanna ejati, well, Atma does not move, it is motionless. It does not undergo any kind of a transformation. That's what it means. Tad dure, Atma is very far. Tad u antike, it is very, very near. Tad tadantarasya sarvasya, tad sarvasya tad antah. It is inside, innermost, let's say. It's a pratyekatma. It is innermost. Tadu sarvasyasya bahyatah. Asya sarvasya bahyatah tad. That means that Atma, well, it is beyond everything. It is beyond everything, including beyond any kind of a concept, beyond mind, beyond perception, beyond senses, beyond ignorance, everything. It is beyond. So this is how it has been told. It is innermost, at the same time say it is outermost. It is beyond everything. So this kind of, the way they, with the paradox, they say like this. Anoho aniyan, mahato mahiyan. That is another thing. Anoha aniyan. It is smaller than the smallest. Mahato mahiyan, bigger than the biggest. At the same time, Atma is bigger than the biggest, and Atma is smaller than the smallest. Yeah, how it is possible? It wants to say Atma is all pervading. That's all it means. Being all pervading, it is pervading even the very, very atom it pervades, and it pervades even the biggest objects in the world. Being all pervading, it wants to convey that. But this is how they put. And several statements in Bhagavad Gita also says like that. Masthani sarva bhutani nachaham teshu avasthitah nacha masthani bhutani. Bhagavan also is not, he is also champion in this to create confusion. Masthani sarva bhutani, all the beings are in me. Masthani sarva bhutani nachaham teshu avasthitah. I am not in them. They are in me. Okay, very good. Nacha masthani bhutani. Even they are not in me. What are you talking? In a single shloka, Bhagavan says this. Very beautiful. Right now, few of you may feel that what is this? But it is not difficult. But what I am saying is, basically, Atma has been described with this kind of a paradox. And that's how the reality, the real nature of Atma has been established. And therefore, it is a great wonder that you have to take the help of a paradox. You should say this is pair. Why do you have to say something in a paradox? But this Atma is definitely need paradox. And therefore, this is way it has been told. Apanipado javano grahita. I am just giving you a few statements from Upanishad. Apanipado javano grahita pashyati achakshuhu shrunoti akarnaha. Atma does not have legs. Atma does not have hands. But the speed of the Atma is so fast that he comes first in any race. He is, so apanipada javano grahita. And he can catch everything, even though he doesn't have hands. He can run faster than the fastest. But then he must have so beautiful, very powerful legs. No, he doesn't have any legs. Pashyati achakshu, he doesn't have eyes, but pashyati, he sees everything. Sa shrunoti, sa atma shrunoti, the atma hears. Akarna, he doesn't have any ears. Savetti veddam nachatasya asti vetta tamahuhu agrayam purusham mahantam. This is also from Upanishad. Savetti vedyam, see, atma knows everything. Nachatasya asti vetta, but nobody knows the atma. Atma knows everything, but nobody knows the atma. This is how. There are many statements. Even Shivmaimna Sutra also it is there. Namo Dedishthaya, Priyadavadavisthaya Namaha, etc. I mean, this is because this is endless. But what I want to say is this object of knowledge called Atma also seems to be a wonder. The description of the Atma in the Upanishads, even in Bhagavad Gita, etc., well, it is just a wonder, the way they describe it. Okay, now we'll have to go further. Now the second statement. So one part we have completed. Ashcharyavat pashyati kaschit enam. Someone who knows the Atma is a wonder, and we have taken that three things in that: the knower, the knowledge, and the object of knowledge called Atma. Everything is wonder. Now second part. Ashcharyavat vadati tathaivacha anya. Someone talks about this Atma is also a wonder. And now here talks about means the Vakta, the teacher comes into the picture. And I will describe about the teacher. Before that, I will tell you that this Vakta or the speaker or the teacher of this Atma also is very, very rare. That has been described by Nachiketa when he was talking to Yamaraja in Kathopanishad. Devairatrapi vichikitsitam kila tvam cha mrityo yanna suvigneyamatha vakta cha asya tvagdrug anyano na labhyah nanyo varas tulya etasya kashite. He says, hey Mrityo, hey Yamaraja, well, you only said this Devatas also have a very, very great doubts regarding this Atma. I mean, for the nature of Atma. Well, then if you are saying like this, that this Atma Tattvam is not easy to know, and then this is my understanding that with regard to this subject matter, with regard to this Atma, well, I don't feel other than you will be capable to talk about it, and therefore you are the Vakta for me. I don't want anything else. You have to teach me this. And that way, it says here very beautifully that I don't consider in this world who can talk about this Atma other than you. That shows Vakta also is Ashcharya. Even Arjuna also told to Krishna this in the same manner, a little differently. Etanme samshayam Krishna chettu marhasya sheshatah twadanya samshayasya chetta nahi upapadyate. Oh Lord, well, I am having a doubt that which you have to remove that doubt. And I have a doubt regarding this Atma alone. And tad anyaha samshayasya asya chetta nahi upapadyate. One who cut asunder this doubt, tad anyaha na. Other than you, who can cut asunder the doubts regarding the Atma, I don't find. Arjuna also said to Krishna. And Nachiketa also told to Yamaraja. And therefore, the teacher also of this, well, the speaker here, Vakta, means a teacher. Well, he is also a wonder. Why the teacher is so wonder? I will tell you the qualifications of teacher. Well, no one fits into that. Really speaking, it is very, very difficult thing. And that's how I have to narrate few things regarding the teacher of this Atma also. But basically, you know that in Mundaka Upanishad, this statement most of you must be knowing also. Tad vijnanartham sa gurumeva vigachet shrotriyam brahmanishtham samitpanihi. So, tad vijnanartham sa gurumeva vigachet. Tad means that Atma or Brahman. Vijnanartham, in order to know this Atma, saha, this Shishyaha, gurumeva vigachet, he has to go to the teacher. And what kind of a teacher? Shrotriyam brahmanishtham samitpani. Samitpani is regarding, well, of course, for the Shishya, but Shrotriyam brahmanishtham. Two things are talked about. But I will tell you many more qualifications which are required on the part of teacher. Not just on the part of students, qualifications are required, which we talked yesterday, of course. But teacher also, the qualifications are many. And to find all the qualifications in that teacher is very, very difficult. And that's how even the Vakta also is very, very rare. First qualification regarding teacher. Shrotriya. One of the most important qualification for the teacher is that he should be Shrotriya. Shrotriya means one who has studied the scriptures under a teacher. This is a qualification of teacher. Shrotriya means one who has studied the scriptures under a teacher, and that is the primary qualification. That is the most important qualification for the teacher. So Guru must have been Shishya before. That's what I wanted to convey. And why you say like that? Because even without teaching, you will find wise people in the world. And there were wise people before also. And they are, unfortunately, they are not teachers. I will tell you that. See, Garbhe eva etat shayanaha Vamadevaha uvacha. Upanishad says this. Garbhe eva shayanaha. This Vamadeva, he knew the Atma while he was in the womb of the mother. Means he had not taken a formal training regarding the teaching of Atma. That's clear now. And therefore, even he is a Mahatma, definitely. And Jivan Mukta, because he gained the knowledge also, and even Upanishad quotes him. So he is a glorious person, definitely, worth worshipping also, but he can't function as a guru. There is a reason for that. So, such great people are there. We should do namaskara, we should worship also, but they cannot become guru in our life, in as much as they have not come to the regular path of gaining jnana. They might have gone to the teacher and have come to know the self, regarding the self, etc. You don't find. So he doesn't know a known path of an ordinary person to know the Atma. And therefore, if he doesn't know, he is very genius. And always genius people generally in any field can't become good teachers. They can't communicate. There is a reason. Because you and me have to need some steps. Like you and me are doing some kind of a sum in mathematics. Right? And then we need steps by steps. If mathematics, a genius, and mathematics comes, he doesn't need steps. He immediately gives answer. So he doesn't know the steps. In what steps one can arrive at the solution, he doesn't know. Even if you ask him how you arrived at, he says, this is the answer, I know, that's all. He may not tell you all the steps because he may not be knowing also. And therefore, such quotations are there regarding Jnani Purusha. In Upanishad, Vamadeva and many others. They know they are wise people, and they were wise people, but since they have not undergone a formal training they have not gone to any teacher and gained the jnanam, they don't have this Shrotriyatvam. And Shrotriyatvam is very, very essential. So, this is how, he misses answer. He misses many steps of the answer. It is very clear. So, if anyone has to choose a guru, definitely you should choose a guru who was a shishya of somebody. This is just primary qualification. Shrutartha sampannaha shrotriya. This is how that has been defined. Shrutartha sampannaha. What has been taught through the teacher, he is aware of. He is in the tradition. And second thing also regarding this is, scriptures they talk about the systematic methods of communication. I will give you the example. One contemporary example also is there. So there are systematic ways of arriving at the nature of the self, which we are seeing right now in Tattva Bodha, that Shariratraya Prakriya, Shariratraya Vivekaha, Panchakosha Vivekaha, etc. or our Avasthatraya Vivekaha, etc. These are the Prakriyas, or Karyakarana Prakriya also is there. So these are the Prakriyas. And these Prakriyas are unfolded by the teacher to the disciple. And then the disciple, who is not genius, he wants to know the self, but he doesn't know. Then teacher employs these methods, Prakriyas, and thereby a student comes to know the self. So that's a normal, regular method. And those methods are employed and to impart the knowledge of self by the teacher and to the person who has come, to the disciple. and that method is called sampradaya. So you employ methods so that the person drops off the confusion regarding the self and he knows himself as a Satchidananda, etc. So this is called sampradaya. Sampradaya means a tradition, Guru Shishya tradition, in which Guru employs the methods. And it is exactly like the steps in a mathematics problem. So no, your teacher explains all the steps and then finally the answer comes. That is what it means. But the genius immediately answers. He doesn't know the step, but he knows the answer. He is a genius. But definitely other people, the normal method is this. And the one who has undergone, one who has exposed oneself to such a teacher who employs this kind of methods in order to impart the self-knowledge, and one can drop the self-confusion, Shishya can drop the self-confusion, we can call such teacher as a sampradaya-with, one who knows the sampradaya, one who knows the communication skills regarding Atma. Genius may not have a communication skills. He is a wise person, and he should be worshipped for grace, etc. But if you ask him that you impart knowledge to me, well, he could not. That may be possible. So the first qualification, what I am saying is that Vakta is Durlabha. Vakta is very rare, Ashcharya, that's what I am describing. And there are many more I am describing right now. So, so a person does not have studied from a teacher, etc. Well, and still a person is a Jnani, well, then all his statements are mystical statements. And they are called mystic people also. And they make some statements which are very mysterious. I will tell you one of the statement, how somebody has made the statement. And well, they are meaningful, but they are meaningful to them, not to all. That's what I mean. So mystical people make some statements, they are meaningful to them, not to you. And one such statement is like this, which is very quoted by somebody. You should be able to learn experiencing the world without experiencer. Think of this. His statement is this. What is the statement? You should be able to learn experiencing the world without experiencer. What will you understand in this? Tell me. What will you understand? When he makes statement, such a great person, when he makes such a statement, definitely it has a meaning. But the meaning is only revealed to himself, not to anyone else. And that is a lack of a Shrotriyat. And Sampradaya is not. Because he has not undergone any kind of this method. Because he has gained the knowledge, that's all. He has gained the knowledge. You and me have to undergo all this training. We have to drop our confusions. Teacher has to employ so many methods. He has to say that, there is you are a waker and you are a dreamer and you are a sleeper. And and how can you are all the three? Because the waker is not a dreamer, dreamer is not a sleeper, sleeper is not a waker. Then you experience that you are invariably present in all the three, and therefore you should be distinct from all the three, but they three are not separate from you, etc., etc. And you know yourself as invariable presence, as a consciousness in all the three states. But so what is experiencer, what is object of experience, and from where the experiencer arises, what object of experience, what is the reality of it? Nothing. They make statement like this. Very great people, but no Shrotriyat. If you ask him, please explain all this, he said, you understand it. He will not tell you this experiencer and object of experience both arises from one consciousness, etc., etc., and therefore experiencer is mithya and object of experience is mithya, etc. Nothing. That's correct. What he says is that you experience the world without being experiencer. Well, you are not really an experiencer, we know that. But how to understand all these things? So a teacher is very essential who has exposed himself to the teaching from a teacher. That is called Shrotriyat. And so he knows the communication skills. He has employed, his teacher has employed to impart the self-knowledge, and now someone else comes. Well, he is able to impart. That's called communication skill. And so this is one thing. And anyway, that's how Bhashyakara is very clear. Asampradayavit murkhavat upekshaniya. Even though if he is really a great person, jnani, but if he has not, he doesn't know sampradaya, he doesn't know communication skill for imparting the self-knowledge, well, murkhavat, like a full person, you have to ignore him. So this is, it is, ignore him means don't take him as a guru. That's what it means. So Shrotriyatvam itself is a very, very rare thing. And you and me know very well, I can talk to you that our Pujya Swamiji, he knows how to communicate self. He knows clearly. If you hear him, you will find he has communicated very well regarding Atma. This is so, but such teacher, very rare, right? Very rare. So that is Ashcharya. Okay, this is the first qualification. So many are there. Second, Avrujinaha. This teacher should be pure. He should be paparahitaha. Well, whatever values are mentioned in the scriptures, well, you will be able to see some of the values, all the values rather, in him. So, one who does not lead a immoral life. That's what it is. One who always goes by a moral structure. That's the second qualification of a Vakta, teacher. Third is Akamahataha. Akamahataha means one who does not have any expectation from any student. So, he doesn't have even expectation of a money, etc. also. One who does not make the students as his own clients. That's all it means. So he doesn't make, or other thing also, who does not try to gain some fame by talking about their students. That my student is basically, he's a big industrialist and my student is basically a great MP of a member of parliament, etc., etc. Nothing. So, basically, this person, Akamahata means he is one who does not depend upon students for name, fame, money, etc. Otherwise, if all these things motivate him, well, then he can't be true to the teaching. And so it will be twisted. Definitely it will be twisted. Suppose that person who is really great, materially, and he is a disciple and he comes and sits in the class, and to make him happy or to hold on to him, well, he may twist teaching here and there a little bit. Well, that kind of a thing should not be there. That is called Akamahataha. And so, well, if that comes into heart, well, then the teaching will not be wholehearted. Once you start twisting the things here and there, so communication will not take place properly. So the teacher should be Shrotriya, teacher should be morally also correct, and Paparahitaha, Avrujinaha, and third thing is that teacher also should be Akamahataha. Well, he is not dependent on students for money, name, fame, etc. And the fourth thing, in this also there is one more thing we have to talk about, which happens sometime, and that is, suppose whoever the number of students, whatever the students are there in the class, everyone has a background. Most of the students have some exposure to some kind of a spiritual practice. And many times it happens that the people they are committed to devotion, bhakti. What I am saying is they are committed to bhakti. The pujas and etc., japa, etc. And now the subject matter has to be established in that it has come that even through the bhakti, one cannot gain moksha. Then suppose his disciple is sitting there and he was a very, very wealthy person. He is a wealthy person, but his background he knows, teacher knows that he is basically a bhakta. And he has a full trust in bhakti alone. And now if he tells something, this person will go away. Because he will get hurt and he will go away. So then he will not talk about it. or he may talk about a little in a dilute manner. See, the bhakti is also, it is good, but we require moksha also, but then definitely bhakti is also equally important, like that, twisting here and there. And since you are establishing the truth is truth. So you will have to, to that particular section, when you have to say the knowledge alone gives the moksha, then you should not have that kind of a, bending. And that bending, because you are seeing somebody in a very influential person in the class, and then definitely you twist. That kind of a thing is also should not be there. That is should be included in this akamahata. He is not, influenced by this kind of a thing. Generally, it happens that the person who has committed to devotion and he finds that knowledge is considered supreme, and it happens so that the person may not come from next day. It happens. It has happened, and very influential person, but goes away. Well, but this teacher won't care for it. Won't care means he is not arrogant, but he doesn't care for it. He knows that what I have to establish as a truth, that the knowledge only gives the moksha, etc., because the problem of